Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden, from Cartoon Apocalypse, and welcome back to the long-awaited Miraculous Ladybug community poll response video. Not really a response, but me going through the answers and showing you guys what the community thinks about these certain questions that I asked. So for those of you guys who are completely unaware of what's going on, basically, I made a video saying, hey, I made a poll, go answer the questions. I just wanted to see sort of like how the community feels on certain topics. And so a lot of you guys responded. There was about 10,000 views on the video, and this response, or this poll got 5,500 responses. So that's a little over half of you guys, which I don't know how to feel about that. 5,000 responses is a lot of responses, but it's half of what the video got, so I don't know. But regardless, there should still be good data on here. This is a good little sample. Obviously, it's not the entire fandom, but if we scale it up, it should be very similar. But yeah, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 10, who knows. But I'm just going to be going on the questions and seeing sort of just what the community thinks and what I think of it. So we're going to start out here with which season of Miraculous was the best. And by far, most people think that Season 3 was the best. And Season 1 got 3% of votes. And that's simply because it just didn't have a lot of plot. Season 2 had it had more plot, but not as much. And so we can see that Season 3 was just overall a really good season and the majority favorite. And this was my favorite season as well. Next question. Do you think there will be a significant time skip at all in the show? And most people say possibly, because it really is depending on what they decide to do. But between yeses and nos, more people are saying yes than no. Obviously, most people are saying possibly, but more people think that it's a higher possibility than no. So that's interesting. Do I want to see like a full-on skip? Here's my take on it. I think right now the way that they're heading with the show is they're not going to be doing like a big significant time skip. However, one thing that I would like to see is like a second series to Miraculous where it is them in the future, so we do see all this future stuff. So who knows? Again, it's all possible, but it really just depends on what they decide to do with the show. So this next one's interesting. If you could pick how long you wanted Miraculous Ladybug to air for, how long would you make it? So most people said 9+ seasons, which if you think about it, most TV shows don't go to 9+ seasons, unless if it's like Family Guy or The Simpsons or something. And 9 seasons is actually not what I had said. Here's the thing. If they just made this no time skip whatsoever, 9 seasons, it would be, I feel like it would last a really long time. But granted, they probably could stretch it out because seasons 1 and 2 were super stretched out. Seasons 1 and 2 should have just been one season. And then season 3, I feel like that was pretty good. No, season 3 was just good overall. But I think 9 seasons, it's possible, but we would be waiting a really long time to actually see a lot of the big plot. And especially with this Hawkmoth stuff, if Hawkmoth, the current Hawkmoth that we have now, if we wait 9 seasons to see him actually officially fail or officially succeed, we're going to be waiting a long time, and that's going to be a lot of filler. So probably not 9 seasons, unless if they did like a big time skip or something. So I think I said 7 seasons. Right now we have 5 confirmed, and then people have said like they want 6 and 7 and whatnot. So we'll see. 7 seems to be the most popular aside from 9, and then it's very close between 6 and 7, so that's just really interesting to see. When did you become a fan of Miraculous Ladybug? Now, I personally started watching in 2018 after some friends recommended it to me, and I put 2020 on here because people could be completing the poll, and this poll is still open, by the way, so if you haven't entered it, you still can, but 36 people said 2020. And this video was released, I think it was released on like the 1st or the 2nd or something. So it was like right into 2020. So I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. Most people, it was pretty close, but most people became a fan in 2019. I don't know why specifically. And the thing is here, my audience, because most of the people coming to this poll is my audience. So they could have seen my other videos when I was making all-star content, and then I could have started making Miraculous content, and then they could have been like, okay, I'll go check this out. So that might be why this is so biased, but I don't know. I think it's really interesting to see that the majority on this poll, 25% basically, are new fans in 2019, which is really interesting, and that shows that we're just going to keep getting more and more new fans as the years go by, and I'm really excited to see who all we can join into this family and stuff, so it's really cool to see all this data. Okay, so this next one's what's your age, and this one's just interesting because a lot of people, I got a lot of questions. I wasn't originally going to put this on here, but because when I made the video asking for questions, I had said, or well, no, I didn't say, but a lot of people commented being like, hey, what's like the average age of the fandom? Because I don't know, it's just something that we don't really know because we're not going around asking people, and this is all anonymous, so we can get probably a more accurate. Now here's the thing, you didn't have to respond on any of the questions, and this one only got about 4,000 responses, which is roughly almost, I guess it was almost 2,000 less than the total responses. But from this we can gather that the majority of people who filled out this poll, or 16% I guess, is 13, and then it goes 13, the second most was 14, and then 15, and then so on and so forth. And then 12 had 9.2%, and then just smaller percentages for these younger ages. So it is interesting. And the thing is, it goes down to, or it goes up to 30, I guess, and you can see that there are fans of every age. And that's just amazing, I think. I think it's amazing to see that we had a bunch of people who are above 30, if I can get it here. 102 people who entered this forum. And obviously, this isn't the entire fandom. That's just a small sample of it. So 102 people are over the age of 30 watching this, and that's awesome. It means we have so much diversity in this community, and I love it. Okay, what is your gender? This comes as no surprise to me. On my YouTube analytics, I see that most of my viewers are female. So this really didn't surprise me. But here's the thing though. If we had a larger sample and this was just not biased on my viewers, I want to know if it probably would look very similar to this. But I'm just interested to see if this is because it's a pretty much a direct correlation to my analytics. And this one only had 1,135 responses. So I don't know. This one's definitely an interesting one because it got so many. I would have thought that this one would have had more responses than this. So interesting. Okay, so this one doesn't really have too much, like, I don't know. The thing is, most people watching this video and who submitted this speak English mostly, so it's no surprise that the majority of the favorite dub is of English. But a lot of people like the French. And I put this on here because some people might speak two languages and they just prefer one over the other. So yeah, and then I thought I included pretty much all the languages, but apparently there's other, so I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna move on from this one. Okay, this next one is, would you rather have Miraculous Ladybug turn into a plot-based show? So basically there's a bunch of continuity and there's big long arcs where there's full plot going on, or stay as in everything is reset at the end of each episode kind of show, which is basically what we have now. And here's the really interesting part. Only 2% of people who submitted this poll said they liked it the way it is right now, where it's mostly filler. And okay, don't get me wrong here, there is still a lot of plot, but it's not plot in the traditional sense of like, it doesn't progress the story too much. It doesn't affect the story. Like, you can have one episode, the best example is you can play episodes out of order. Now season 3, it started to go away from this a little bit because it started to matter what episodes were played in order, but not so much to where it would, like, you would really be completely lost if you didn't watch a previous episode. So I'm surprised that I don't know. What surprises me is that a lot of people want a good mix of both, which I think is most shows, and then a plot-based show, a lot of people want. It's interesting to me to see that, hey, we would like more plot. Well, I guess it's not really surprising from my standpoint, but maybe from your guys' standpoint, maybe that is interesting. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, because this is just really interesting, and I hope that they do include more plot, and that's why I asked this question. So it proves that people do want more plot, so we'll see if they actually give us more plot. Alright, so I gotta start speeding up here because we're already pretty long into the video and we're not even halfway done with this. So based on the anime PV that was released, it was actually not officially released, it was just kind of like leaked. Would you rather have seen Miraculous as more of an anime style, or just the regular visuals, the 3D animation, or I also included like a 2D cartoon like Star Vs? And most people like the visuals, and I agree. I think for the show that they're presenting, 3D visuals is the best that they could do with this. And then 12%, 588 people said that they would rather see it as an anime, so I think that's interesting. And then this one got a lot of questions on the video, actually. How many times have you seen Miraculous Ladybug? And 6+, some people didn't understand exactly how this was. Like, was it a certain episode, how many seasons, or whatever. The way I was intending this question to go is, how many times have you seen every single episode? So like, I watched the entire show once, and then I watched it again, and then I watched it again. So how many times did you do that? And most people have seen it over 6 times, and I even haven't seen it completely over 6 times. I've seen it completely twice, and that's only actually seasons 1 and 2, because I didn't officially rewatch season 3. I'm gonna have to, because I have to update some stuff on miraculousladybugnews.com, which you can go check out, link down in the description below. So I'm gonna have to rewatch all the episodes for that, so that'll make my raised counter to up to 3. But a lot of the episodes, like, I watch it once, and then I take a break, and then I watch it again right before recording a video talking about it, and then that's kind of where that goes. So moving on, we're now on to the ship section, which I think was interesting. This is the question that really created this entire poll. So, which Love Square ship is your favorite? Now, I've been wanting to know the answer to this, and it looks like from this, barely is Adrianette. And that's interesting. And the least one is Ladrian. That is the minority here. And Lady Noir is the next one above Ladrian, and then Marichat, which was really interesting because I thought Marichat was gonna be the minority, and it's not. It's almost past Adrianette, which is really, really interesting. And I understand it, but it just surprised me so much because I would think that, well, actually, I don't know. I think out of all of them, Adrianette would be the highest one, but it's only barely above Marichat. So that's really interesting to me. Okay, so this next one is asking, which ship do you think will be the OTP? Not the one that you want, the one that you think will be. And basically it's the Adrianette, the classic Love Square, or Adrigami and Lucanette, or Lucanette but no Adrigami, or Adrigami but no Lucanette. And there was a little typing error here, which I fixed on this one, but then it added 2 categories, so it was kind of weird, so I didn't do it with this one. So most people think that Adrianette's going to be the OTP, and then Adrigami and Lucanette is the next up, and then Lucanette but no Adrigami, which was interesting because a lot of people, at least out of these 2, more people liked Adrigami as well as Lucanette, but this shows to me that more people dislike Adrigami more than Lucanette, so that's interesting. Okay, actually, I was mistaking this one for this one. More people, it's more prominent on this one because this is the one that you want to be the OTP, not the one that you think. So I was like combining these 2 together. So most people want Adrianette to happen over Adrigami and stuff, but out of the people who do want this stuff, more people don't like Adrigami, which is really interesting. So you see, something about Adrigami just isn't as good as any of the others, and I don't know why, but I'm sure we'll learn in this next season, and there's a couple reasons, but I don't know, it's just super interesting. It's really cool to see this. Okay, so this next question is, when do you think the reveal will happen? And the majority of people are saying season 5. That's pretty typical, pretty close to the end. And then season 6 was a big contender, even though we don't have a season 6, but I think there's probably a good chance that we'll have one. Who knows? And then season 4 was the second biggest contender, and it's a battle between these 2. Obviously, more people think it's season 5, and I probably am on the season 5 boat, because season 4 just seems too early with these transition ships now. But season 4, it's possible. It could happen at the end. And then there was also a never section, and 146 people thought that it would never happen, so that's kind of sad, actually. So this one's just kind of a stupid question. Which one do you ship more, Lila and Felix or Gabriel and Natalie? And more people like Gabriel and Natalie more than Lila and Felix. And I wasn't even making Lila and Felix a thing, it just sort of happened. and people were asking for this question, so I included it. But I wasn't even thinking of that as a possibility because they're not connected in any way other than the fact that they're both mean people. They're both bad people, so I don't know. This doesn't really surprise me, though. Alright, this next one, which is your favorite ship outside of the main one? So this does not include Adrianette and all that stuff, or Adrigami or anything. This is just like the other people, the extra people like Rose and Julika and stuff like that. And here's the funny thing. Originally, I did not include Alia and Nino because I was considering that a main one, but people were asking, hey, where's the Alia and Nino? Because they were putting other, so you can assume that basically all the others are for Alia and Nino, pretty mostly, I think, because I did have to go back and update this, and it's still surprising, because I don't know when I went back and updated this, but this Alia and Nino is overwhelming compared to all the other ones, and that's interesting. And then the next one was Rose and Julika, so that's not really surprising either. Alright, next we're on to the characters section, and so this one should be interesting. So out of this list, which character is your least favorite? And most people dislike Lila more than anyone else. And then the next most hated person, or the least favorite person, I guess I worded this bad, but the next disliked person is actually Gabriel. And I think I put my vote on Gabriel for this one, which, who knows? I think I still dislike Gabriel more than Lila, but most people dislike Lila. And then Felix, Chloe, most people are okay with Chloe compared to these other ones, because these ones are just in a whole nother league. Like, Chloe's just a brat. These guys are just evil. Like, there's a big difference here, but it's interesting. And then we've only seen Felix once, so it's not really a surprise that this one ranked so low, because we've seen what Lila can do and is capable of. So if we see more of Felix, maybe that opinion will change, so who knows. Moving on, who is your favorite main character? Excludes the superheroes. And Marinette seems to be the overwhelming favorite one. Not really overwhelming, I guess, but the majority favorite. And then the next one is Adrian, and then Alia, and then Luca, and then Alia. So that's interesting. Where's Kagami? Kagami, oh, poor Nino. Most people don't like him as much as the other characters. And then Kagami, I can see why people would like her. And then, so, not really a surprise to me, probably, because Marinette's the main character. A lot of people just like the main character because they're the main character. So, and then Adrian also ranking this high, because typically, well, out of the main characters, typically the main character I think is the favorite, but in this show, it's pretty divided, so that's interesting. So then this one's asking, which is your favorite side character from the class, because I didn't want to go through all the other characters and whatnot. And Alex is the overwhelming favorite, and that's interesting. Next is Julika, next Chloe. Why was Chloe the next favorite one? What? That doesn't make... Okay, whatever. You know what? Who knows? And then Nathaniel, and then Rose was next, I guess. Probably, yeah. Lila? Why did Lila rank so high? Explain to me how Lila ranked so high. I don't know. So Alex, honestly, I didn't know which one would be the most favorite side character. So this one, it's interesting to see that Alex was the first one, because I don't think that's who I picked, but honestly, I don't know who I picked. Maybe I picked Max? I think I picked Max, because, I don't know, he's cool with all his gadgets and stuff. So I think I picked Max, but, yeah. Why? I should have included a question like, why was this your answer? Because now I want to know why. Like, I mean, I have nothing against any of the characters in the class, except for maybe, like, Lila, but, just what made her stand out of all the other characters? So, I want to know. Let me know. Alright, next, who is your favorite main Miraculous holder? And Cat Noir, and it's surprising because, without the costume, people like Marinette, and then with the costume, people like Cat Noir, which is really interesting. And then Rena Rouge came in 3rd place, and then Ladybug was obviously 2nd, which is not surprising. I think... No, it's not surprising at all that Cat Noir ranked higher, because everybody just loves his puns and stuff, so that's not surprising whatsoever. But what is surprising is that Queen Bee ranked above Hawkmoth and Carapace. Well, Hawkmoth's is understandable. Wait, how did Hawkmoth rank above Carapace? That doesn't make sense to me. Carapace's transformation was awesome. But how did Queen Bee rank above Carapace? Well, what are you guys thinking? Why do you guys like Chloe so much? Okay, moving on. Who's your favorite side Miraculous holder? And this is where we got a whole bunch of different characters. So let's see here. The majority of people like Bunny X, again with Alex. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's her adult self that makes people like Alex the most. Multi-Mouse was next, which was interesting because we barely saw Multi-Mouse. Lady Noir was next after that, which is understandable, and then Viperia, and then Mayura. Why did Mayura rank so high? Oh my gosh. Where was Hawkmoth? Was Hawkmoth on here? I don't know. Anyway, why are all the villains ranking so high? I don't know. Who do you think will be the next Hawkmoth? Majority of people think it's Lila, which I think it's Lila too, but a lot of people have been saying Felix, and that makes sense why it's the most, or the next one. And then other, who could other be? It's really just between Lila and Felix, I would think. Chloe, Gabriel. I don't even know why I put Gabriel there, but yeah, Lila for the answer is not very surprising to me. So this next one's interesting. Who do you think will discover Ladybug's identity first and keep their memory? Because, again, Adrian, and here's the thing, Bunny X did, but that's not really what I'm thinking here, because she found out way farther in the future. I'm talking about present time. So, yeah. Okay, so Adrian, Cat Noir, that's obviously the gimme answer. And then Alia is next, which I think is interesting. And Alia could probably keep a secret, but she'd actually probably let it slip out on accident. So maybe Alia's not the best person to tell. But Adrian could definitely keep a secret, so I think Adrian is going to be the next. But Luca is also a high contender above Grand Reveal, which is multiple people at one time. So that's interesting. I think that Luca definitely has a higher chance than Alia, but that's just me. But overall, I think Adrian / Cat Noir would be the first option on here. And then who do we think will discover Cat Noir's identity first? And that's Ladybug and Marinette. Now the reason why more people think, or at least the reason I think more people are gonna think that Marinette / Ladybug would find out first, is because she's now the Miraculous holder, and it makes sense for her to go out and be like, hey, Cat Noir, let me know your identity, because what if I need to go take the Miraculous or whatever? So that makes sense as far as why Marinette was picked more than Cat Noir. So that's my reasoning for that. Alright, so the next question is, do you think we will see Emily come back to life? Now, she's technically not dead, but she's in like a coma or something, so I just said come back to life. And it looks like the majority of people say yes, but only temporarily. Now, I think what's going through people's heads when they're answering this is they think Hawkmoth will succeed in getting the two Miraculous, he'll fuse them together, he'll make his ultimate wish, and then he will realize that what's the word? The punishment that he gets, or the backlash, not really the because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and so the reaction that happens when to bringing Emily back to life, like maybe for example Adrian dies and Gabriel's like, okay, well actually I don't want that, so then he's like, okay, I want to revert it, so then it would only be temporarily. So that's one thing. And then a lot of people say maybe as well, because again, it's just kind of like a gimme question, like, well, it depends on how they go with the show. So yeah, but between yes and no, more people say yes, so that's interesting. So next is, do you think Felix will come into play later on in the show? And most people say yes, he is. And then a lot of, or more people, I guess, less than yes, but more than the rest, say not really, like he'll come back once or twice, and then we won't really see him again. So, and then maybe again. But most people say, or at least they think, that there is a possibility of him coming back at least once or twice, and then like full on coming back. So who knows? Maybe he'll be the next Lila. I think I was on this boat, like not really, like he'll come back once or twice and that's it. But who knows? Maybe we'll see him more often. So next is, do you think Marinette will become akumatized? And most people say yes. And the real only reason I think this will ever happen is if they have another Miraculous swap and Cat Noir or somebody else has Ladybug Miraculous. Because who's gonna save the day? Like, that just doesn't make sense. So who knows? Maybe, honestly, I don't know. But more people say maybe than no. So people are thinking that, yeah, we will see her akumatized. I just want to know, you know what I should have done? I should have had, like, explain your reasoning behind every single question, so then I could have seen, like, why people think a certain thing. because I just want to know why, or like what people, like what their theory is on why they think or how Marinette is going to become akumatized, and see sort of what that would look like. So this next one is an interesting one. Which Kwame is your favorite? And I did include all of them, even the ones that we didn't see, like Bark. But overwhelmingly Plague was the most popular one, which makes sense. And then which Kwame do you think holds the most power? And most, or I guess the majority of people, well, not the majority, but 38% of people said Plague holds the most power. But here's the thing, we've only really seen Plague's true power, or barely any of it. He could destroy the entire world, but here's the thing. In my opinion, Tiki holds the most power because she could essentially create the world, because she's the Kwame of creation. That's the thing. So just because we haven't seen Tiki's power doesn't mean we can't assume what it does, because Plague's power is basically to destroy things on a large scale. Then wouldn't that just make Tiki's power to create things on a large scale? So that's what I think. And then Fluff is actually the next most like powerful one, which does make sense. You can go back in time and stuff like that, which is pretty powerful, but I think creating stuff is a lot more powerful than destruction or time travel. So this next one's not really like anything related to the show, it's just kind of cool. If you were a superhero, which Kwame would you want? And it looks like most people, or more people, would want Plague versus Tiki, and I can understand that because Plague's just a funny character. And then out of like the four big ones, there's Plague, Tiki, Long is the next one, which is interesting because we've only seen him a couple times. And then we got Trix, which is also interesting. We've only seen, I think it's a her a couple times as well. So, yeah. And then Fluff is also high. Oh, Fluff is actually bigger than Trix. And then Sass. Why Sass? I don't know. Like, we've only seen him like once or twice now. Huh. So this next one's a little, probably a controversial one, but we can understand the clear answer. It's Ladybug. Who's the better superhero? It's obviously Ladybug because she saves the day, all that stuff. And we could see that illustrated. I guess I shouldn't have made it Ladybug. I should have probably made it Cat Noir, or not Cat Noir, Adrien and Marinette, because really who they are behind the mask is, I mean, they're still the same person, supposedly, except for some may argue with Aspic. But overall, Ladybug did save the day, and even, I was going to say Reflectall, Marinette was still the head of the team between her and, I guess it wasn't Cat Noir, it was Mr. Bug. So, yeah, Ladybug is the one fit for being a leader. So, which superheroes, excluding Ladybug and Cat Noir, do you think we will see in Season 4 now that Hawkmoth knows their identities? And most people say a mix of old and new. And I'm kind of on this boat as well, because are they really gonna throw out everything that they've built up from the ground up? I really don't know. And then a lot more people say all new versus all old, because again, pretty much I mean, they know everyone's identities now. So I really don't know. We're just gonna have to see what they do. They're gonna do something where it's like, go back in time and change that or something. Who knows? Which do you prefer? Marinette with her hair down, or Marinette in her ponytails or normal hair? And more people like her hair with her hair down, which is interesting, because what if we ended up seeing that? Well, I don't know. We probably won't see it in, Season 4. That's the next question, actually. Do you think we will see Marinette's hair down in Season 4? Yes, but only in 1 or 2 episodes, and that's like the huge majority rule. At least, well, not majority rule, but that's the majority of what people think. And I'm probably on this boat, even though people prefer her hair down more than her hair up, which is actually really interesting. And here's the thing, I think this is a new question, which is why, or like, because I went back like after a week that it had already been uploaded and put on some new questions, and I think this is one of them. But yeah, it's interesting. I wonder, what if they did make it all in Season 4? Like, what if her hair was permanently down in Season 4? Then what would happen? Which personality do you like more? But this is between Adrien, and the majority of people say Cat Noir, because Cat Noir's personality is just great. And then Adrien's next, and that makes sense because he's a really nice guy. Mr. Bug and Aspic. Aspic was honestly just annoying. And then Mr. Bug, we didn't really see, I mean, he was kind of just like a dumbed down version of Cat Noir. So yeah, Cat Noir is not surprising to me at all. And then next we have, which personality do you like more? on Marinette's side, and this one's a lot more all over the board. And Marinette's personality was it had the most votes. And then Ladybug was next, with a close second to Lady Noir, because a lot of people like Cat Noir's sass, and that kind of carried over to Marinette when she when she was Lady Noir. And then Multi-Mouse got a lot more votes than I thought it would. And why? We've only seen a little bit of Multi-Mouse, and so who knows? Anyway, I'm not here to argue against what you think, because I just like seeing what you think. Anyway, it's just interesting, like, why was Multi-Mouse ranked so high? Like, I just want an explanation. And there is some open-ended questions, and, like, who is your favorite Akuma-type person? Campalonk, I think, is the big, overwhelming thing, and then there's some more. And then just some more. I'm not going to read through these, but I believe if you go onto the poll and you've already submitted a response, then you can go view the responses, which I don't know how many people did, but this is more just for me to see, because I think it's cool. I just like knowing what you guys think. So, yeah, that's all for the poll. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this. Maybe, who knows, maybe we should make this a thing that we do after every season. Like, this was the one after season 3. Then after season 4, we will sort of have the same poll, maybe? I don't know. But we will have a poll or something. I don't know. What do you guys think of that idea? Just like having another community poll asking if anyone's opinions have changed, what they thought of the new season, etc. So let me know what you think down in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Is that all his love for Ladybug is worth?